Welcome to Whoreology,
the podcast created to break down shame and stigma around sex and sexuality.
Being a whore is a state of mind.
And we're glad you're here.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the podcast.
We missed a week.
We did.
Because we're professionals.
We are. So we haven't sat down and filmed in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen Nikki in like a week.
Yes. Kaylin moved. I went home.
Yeah.
We're out of it.
Yeah. We went from seeing each other every single day to not seeing each other for a week straight.
I know.
And I'm going to be honest, I cried.
Did you?
Yeah.
I love you.
This weekend, I was like, I'm so alone. I called my mom.
Oh.
Cried. I was like, I hate it here.
I love you. And I'm glad you're here. And I'm back.
Thanks.
I'm back.
Thanks for coming back.
I came back just for you.
Thank you. No, there were like a lot of problems with my apartment, as you know, and I was just like, it's terrible here. And now I'm trying to convince Hailey to come here. I'm like, it's terrible, but please come.
I'm here for it.
Hey, listen, I was the same way when I moved here, and now I'm like, I'm never leaving.
Yeah. You know,
It's a rite of passage.
Exactly.
Things are going better, though, so.
Good. Anyway, today's episode is on Friends with Benefits, and we have...
Is it?
I think so.
I was just trying to be funny. I don't know if it works.
Hailey.
Woo!
All the way from Rochester.
Yeah.
Yes,
Just to
ma'am.
film this episode. Actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just for you guys. They're paying me.
Yes.
Don't tell anyone.
I paid her in alcohol, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
By a beer company that does not sponsor us.
Yeah, just so you guys know, we'll be covering the label.
Yes. Yeah, they won't give us any money. I haven't asked yet, though.
We should ask.
I will be asking beer companies for money starting this week.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Neither of us drink beer.
That's true. Don't tell them that, though.
I could drink beer.
I'll drink your beer for you.
Give me money and I'll drink your beer. So, Hailey, all the way from Rochester.
Hello.
As we said, trying to get her to move here. So she came for a job interview.
Yes,
We're gonna manifest some good vibes. Do you want to tell us about yourself?
Where should I start? I grew up in Maryland, and then I moved to Pittsburgh because my parents are getting divorced, and
Right into the trauma.
just so you guys know. And now I'm gonna move here.
Amazing.
Yay!
Amazing. How old are you?
I'm 23.
What is your sexuality?
I'm bisexual.
And do you want to tell us the story of when you lost your virginity?
Oh, absolutely. I actually love this story. It's always such like a shock factor because I tell people that I lost my virginity in an abandoned house, and it's like...
Did I know this about you?
I think I've told you
I
this.
certainly didn't know this.
But like it's way better than it sounds, I promise. I was completely safe. So...
Completely safe. Did you use a condom?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
Completely safe. All around.
I mean, 100% safe. Even Santa was there. Yeah, he was there.
I don't think I knew this.
Were you fucking Santa?
No, just on top of him.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to dive in.
It was literally my high school boyfriend, and there was this like state park in his neighborhood that had this really old abandoned house that was like protected by the state in it. And it was one of those places where like kids would go to like smoke or drink and stuff. Except I never did that there. We just literally, like, it was all planned out. We went, he brought a blanket. He helped me hoist myself up onto the like first level of the, like, an awning. So we could crawl through the broken window.
Super romantic.
Because neither of us were allowed to have each other in our bedrooms. So, you know, this was our option. It was this or cars, and like he had the decency to take me to an actual house. So,
wow.
He had the decency to let you lay down.
Exactly.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
He's like, you know what, for the first time we're gonna make this special. So we went to the living room of the house, which was completely dark and covered in like dirt and trash, and he laid down a blanket that had a giant picture of Santa Claus on it. Yeah. But it was actually so sweet. It was adorable. He was a sweetheart.
Was it like, was the house like decrepit with like holes in the ceiling?
not quite holes in the ceiling, but it was absolutely a very old abandoned house. Like, it was dark and dirty and broken and creaky and scary. And we made little finger puppets on the ceiling afterwards.
Cute.
Yeah, so cute. I still have a video of that.
Romantic.
It was
kinda
so
cute.
romantic. But then the rest of the time we had sex was in one of our cars. So,
Oh.
you know, you'll get what you can take.
You never upgraded to a bed.
No, I mean, we did one time, but
Oh.
my parents were gone, so.
Love that.
What do you consider a friends with benefits versus a situationship?
Okay, so I would consider a friends with benefits situation still very casual, but like I need a friendship if we're gonna do that. Like if we're gonna call it a friends with benefits situation, I need to not feel like I'm a booty call, you know? Like I'm down to like, even if we're not going out on dates or like hanging out, I need to be able to talk to you like about my day and I need you to care about it, you know? Like I need some sort of intimacy, but still like on a friend basis. I would consider a situationship basically the like a relationship without the commitment, you know? Like I would want like intimacy out of a situationship, but as long as it's real intimacy, I don't care what you do elsewhere, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a situationship is like you think it's going to be a relationship and it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
think it's headed towards a relationship. At least one of you like sees it going that way.
Yeah.
Whereas friends with benefits is like, yeah, this is my friend and
Yeah.
we're hooking up. And if
And
we
it's
weren't hooking up,
clearly
we'd still be
stated.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Situationships I feel like are just messy, but like they serve their purpose, you know? I
Yeah.
love feeling absolutely wrecked by another human being, you know? Like
Emotional damage.
I love it, you know, give me the experience, I want to learn from you, you
Yeah.
know?
I think like friends with benefits, you don't have to be my friend. Like
But then
there
you're just
has
buddies.
well yeah, so like I think fuck buddies and friends with benefits can be the same thing to me. Like I just use the label friends with benefits for anyone that I could consistently be hooking up with.
Because it sounds more classy.
Not that it sounds more classy, but people know we're just like well, I guess a little bit more classy, but like if I'm talking about like, oh, I'm seeing this person at work, but we're just friends with benefits, like I'm not gonna say any of that. I'm just gonna say like, oh yeah, we're just casual.
Or we're like just hooking up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would prefer not to know anything about you.
Yeah.
I don't want to be your friend.
Yeah.
Because then I will catch feelings. And then with a situationship, I think not that it's like, not necessarily that it's like headed towards a relationship and something doesn't work out. I think there's something specific keeping you there in that like dysfunctional relationship, but one or both of you won't let it go. So you're saying they're on purpose.
Would you say situationships are inherently toxic, or do you think it's possible to have a healthy one?
I think that situationships are toxic.
Yes.
If you're calling it a situationship. I think that it's possible for a situationship to develop into a real relationship.
Yeah.
But I think if you're calling it a situationship, it's toxic.
If you're dating someone and it's going to become a real relationship,
Yeah.
you'll say to your friends like, oh, I'm dating so and so, or like I'm seeing so and so, we're getting to know each other. You're not going to be like, I'm in a situationship.
That's so.
It's a situation. You
Yeah.
got yourself into a situation and you got to get yourself out of it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like for me, if it's like, if we're just hooking up and we're not friends, I just say that we're hooking up.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to this, we're just gonna call her the married woman because she was married, for like
Married with kids.
one kid.
Let's give her a full title. Married with children. Married with child.
Married with child. And we were talking for like 5 months, but I would not call her a friends with benefits.
Yeah.
Because we never hung out. We never texted. Like, she would come over and we would have sex, and that was it.
Mhm.
Like, so I never felt like we were friends, so I never would have called her a friends with benefits.
That's what I would call a fuck buddy.
Me too. Yeah. Like, I would
Yeah.
just say we're hooking up.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like there's, like, for me, all of my friends with benefits, we hung out way more times than we hooked up. Like,
Yeah.
they were a friend who I hooked up with. As
So like
opposed
they were
to-
friend first.
They weren't always a friend first,
Okay.
but, like, we would hang out and just hang out. we didn't need to be, like, fucking. And, like, I knew their friends, they knew my friends. Like, we were very clearly friends. Whereas, like, a situationship, it was romantic the entire time. Like, I thought it was going to become a relationship. Even, like, my most prominent situationship, when it ended, she didn't want to date me. Whereas my, like, friends with benefits situation, the one I'm going to talk a lot about, her name's Jen, twice we stopped hooking up because she got a girlfriend and then a boyfriend, and we remained friends. The reason it ended is because I told her, I can't be your friend. Like, I had to friend break up with her, as opposed to say, I don't want to date you. It was like there was an end to the friendship, which ended the friends with benefits.
That's fair.
And to clarify, you couldn't be her friend, not because it was like, I can't be around you.
Oh, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, because she was a bad friend to me. Like, I was down to be friends, but then it was like, you know, she had this boyfriend. So I tried to talk to her, and I thought maybe she was being a bad friend to me because it was weird, because we had hooked up and she had a boyfriend. Like, I thought that was the problem. Yeah. And so I tried to have a conversation with her and be like, why are you acting weird? You know, but she kept blowing me off, and so it just kind of came down to, like, you're not a good friend to me, and I can't be your friend anymore. And so it was like, we had to end the friendship. Is having a friends with benefits, is that a situationship?
I think it can be.
Exactly. I feel like, I don't know. I think that, to me, I would count all of my friends with benefits as situationships. Yeah. I would not count all my situationships as friends with benefits. So, Jen is both. And
we're also talking about women and not men.
That's true.
So, and I think that's different because with men, they're so black and white. Like, they have no idea that there is nuance to these situations. Like, they can't conceptualize that, and women can. Yeah. So I think that there are different boundaries, typically, in relationships with women.
That makes sense.
I do have one, and I guess, like, if we're making the distinction, like, he would be a fuck buddy. Okay. Because I knew stuff about him, but we never saw each other before, like, 10:30.
Yeah, that's a fuck buddy. That's a
one time. One time he came over at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, that's a fuck buddy.
So I guess, like, because I was like, oh, I don't think I've ever had any that are like, you can make that distinction, but I guess when I think about it more, I have.
I mean, I kind of think just talk about whatever you want to talk about. If it feels like it applies, talk about it. It doesn't matter if it was a situationship or a fuck buddy or
if
a
it's still
benefit.
Because every situation's going to be different. And everything is a situation.
Yeah. You know? But basically, we're just...
You be in a pickle.
We are talking about people who we did not date formally and who we hooked up with. That's the overall thing here.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
So, how many friends with benefits and or fuck buddies have you had?
Okay, that's a hard question for me because, there's really only one official friends with benefits situation, in that it was the only time it was actually said out loud that that's what we were. Other than that, the rest of them were just kind of like 2-night stands. Like
2 nights.
Yeah.
Any relationship of any kind that I've ever been in has not lasted long. Like, the longest relationship I've ever had was 4 months. So anything other than that was just very short-lived, because I'm not good at that.
No, me too.
So bad at showing feelings. Like, if I have them, you'll never know. But with the friends with benefits situation, I kind of screwed myself there because I tried to communicate with him. So I was feeling good about myself, but it kind of backfired because I hadn't had sex in a long time and we were going to, and I'm like, okay, just so you know, I don't want to never see you again. I was basically telling him not to have sex with me and then ghost me. I was just trying to explain, I don't need anything serious, so that's what I said, because it was true, but, I was basically proposing an actual friends with benefits situation, but what he heard from that was that, I'm a booty call now, and so that's how he treated me, so I was not happy with that setup, and it was short-lived. We'll call him Irishman. So, yeah, I tried, and he agreed. He was like, honestly, I'm so glad you brought that up. So I was feeling good. But then it was just like really last minute, and I would have to like drive to his house, which I really don't like doing. But other than that, in college I just had a lot of people that I would like hook up with a couple of times but not really talk to, and it was very much sex only, so I wouldn't really call that a friends with benefits, but it was more than a one night stand. You know,
I literally have to look.
How many?
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, I think adding in fuck buddies makes mine, like, I'd have to think about it.
Yeah.
Like, proper friends with benefits, I can think of 3 that, like, match my description of that. But if we add in fuck buddies, I can only think of one that it was, like, we hooked up for a while, but we didn't become friends. So, like, I would, like, call her a fuck buddy.
Yeah.
I think 5 is my final answer.
Okay. 5, logging it in.
Yep, locking it in. Final answer 5. Would be like, I would say 1 was a friends with benefits and 4 were fuck buddies.
Okay.
Well,
To you.
no. Like by the agreed upon definition.
Oh, no, I meant, like, to you, but maybe not to the men.
Yeah.
God, I don't. Yeah. Well, okay, so the friends with benefits I would say is Trey.
Yeah.
But that's like friends with benefits situation territory
Yeah.
where like who knows. And then there was Braxton, and we only slept together like 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
But he also really upset me.
Oh. Yeah, see, I'm telling you, they're all situations.
They're all upsetting.
And that was only over the course of like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But it was like, I don't know, like there were lots of friends involved, and then I don't know. And then Kevin, I slept with him like 5 times, I think. Ashton was the name I just gave him.
Yeah.
He was only like 4 times. We hooked up twice, he ghosted me. He hooked up 2 more times, he ghosted me again. So he was not a good fuck buddy. Yeah. And then Bobby was like, I don't know, like more than twice. Less than 5 times.
Okay.
But that like dragged out, and he was psychotic.
Yeah, he probably thought you were friends.
Yeah.
Situationship.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
he told me I lost my girlfriend vibe.
Yeah.
So he
Why
thought
was he trying to get his girlfriend?
he thought I was gonna be his girlfriend.
That is so yeah, it was a situationship for him.
For him, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
For you, it wasn't even a friends with
It was
benefits. It was
hardly
just a fuck
anything.
buddy.
It was literally
I
just
met
like-
him drunk.
Yeah.
Off the free tonight Tinder section.
Love.
Took him home and immediately slept with him, and he thought that gave girlfriend.
I guess.
I swear, because they think that you will always have feelings for them. Any girl they interact with, especially if they sleep with them, they assume that you'll have sex with. I mean, they assume you'll have sex with them if you do it. They'll assume you're gonna catch feelings for them. So maybe that's why he thought you had girlfriend vibes, because you slept with him on the first night. But you're a woman, so you're obviously gonna catch feels.
Yeah, I was actually going to talk about this later, because one of your questions is, would you have friends with benefits again, and would you do anything differently? And it's like, yeah, actually, all I want is a friends with benefits. Like, I just want like casual sex with someone. I don't want to date you, but I feel like it is so hard to find that as like. Just speaking like from a woman's point of view, because every man thinks I'm gonna fall in love with him, and I'm not, and so then they start acting like a dick, or they are just a dick in general. But like my hookup standards and like my standards for you to be my friends with benefits are so low. I just have like 2 rules, which is like respect me as a human being and respect my fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, it is not hard to be like, I'm coming over at 8 p.m.
And be there at 8 p.m.
And yeah.
I was gonna say.
And it'll take 7 hours to tell me you're coming at 8 p.m. Like, Jesus Christ.
God.
I think a lot of the problem, or at least the problem a lot of the time with men when you're having friends with benefit situations with them, they
are not the kind of men who think that they're able to have friendships with women. Like, they don't view women as people they can have friendships with, like real friendships. Like, they're the kind of guys who think that men and women can't be friends because there's always some kind of sex involved. There's always some sort of tension involved. So I think because they, like, see you, like, they hear friends with benefits and they think it's synonymous with fuck buddies.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand that there is an instance where you could actually have a friendship while having sex.
Yeah, see, and I feel like all of my friends with benefits, I look back on, like, damn, I kind of wish we would have just been friends because maybe we'd still be friends. Yeah, I feel like, especially with, like, Ray and Claire, like, I feel like we could be friends now.
Yeah.
Although I feel like with Ray specifically, she moved. It ended because she moved. There was never a fight. There was never an issue. I actually could say that one was not a situation, but we didn't stay close in the way, like, if we had met completely platonically, I think that we could have.
Right.
And then I think especially in the case of Claire, I feel like, you know, I really think that we could still right now be good friends if we had never tried to be friends with benefits.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a level of, like, wow, we were friends, and I really wanted to be your friend, and I really liked you as a person. I don't like all my fuck buddies as people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what adds the spice.
Yeah.
A little something, something.
But I don't always want to, like, date them, like the friends with benefits, which I feel like then leads into, like, whatever. You get it.
With my fuck buddies, I feel like the second I start finding out information about them, I'm like, please leave.
Yeah.
And so that's why I like when I just hook up with them and then they leave immediately.
Yeah.
Well, okay, not leave immediately because I do want to cuddle, but I need you to stay silent while we cuddle.
Yeah, don't open your mouth, I'll throw up on you, literally.
Literally, yes.
Yeah, I think that a benefit of friends with benefits can be kissing and cuddling.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be sex.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you can do that with your friends.
Yeah.
It's a benefit of friendship, isn't that what that means?
I definitely did have that with Trey, and I haven't had that in, like, any other fuck buddy friends with benefits situation since then.
I had that with Jen and with Ray and with Claire. So the three that I, like, really count as like, that I really use the words friends with benefits for, I had that with all of them.
Yeah. I think I wanted that, but I never got it. Like, with Irishman, like, I literally tried to have a conversation with him when we weren't, like, making plans to hang out or hanging out. And he was so, like, one-word answers. And I'm literally just, like, asking him, like, what he's doing or, like, how his day's been. Because I'm like, I'm going to at least try to make this a friendship. And he just was not having it. It was, like, literally, like, I had cooties. Like,
that's so sad.
Like, that is too much for me. God. You're catching feelings now.
You brought up if we would want to have a friends with benefits situation again.
Yeah.
Would you ever try again?
I would try again because that's probably, at least at the moment, my ideal situation. But again, like, I need there to be an actual friendship. Like, I need you to acknowledge me as an actual real life human being. And I need you to be able to, like, make conversation with me and realize that you can be intimate with me without it being a serious relationship. Like, I don't care who else you're sleeping with, as long as you are giving me your full attention when you're with me. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I think there are so many different levels of that kind of situation that you can have. Like, I think you can have a lot of intimacy with somebody that you're having sex with, while also understanding that each other has their freedom. But it's not like an open relationship, you know?
Yeah.
It's just mutual respect. Like, you can be honest with each other, and you can even, like, talk to each other about the people that you're hooking up with, and it's not a big deal because it's just sex, and you respect each other as people, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, me and
you
Jen
care about each other.
Yes. No, you're good. Me and Jen literally used to, like, lay in her bed, like, on Tinder. Like, we're each scrolling through Tinder at the same time. You know? And again, like, that one ended because she wasn't a good friend to me.
Yeah.
But, like, I would have been down to keep being friends if she was a good friend. You know what I mean? So, which also, because you asked earlier, do you think situationships are inherently toxic? Do you think friends with benefits are inherently toxic?
Not inherently, but I think
Yeah.
they can really
They
become
can often
toxic.
be toxic,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't think they have to be.
I think, looping back, about the whole, like, just respecting you as a person, that's how I feel with, I think I named him Nick. That's my issue with him, is, like, I already, like, I would be down to be friends with benefits with him because I get along with him as a person really well, but he already shows that he does not respect my time,
Yeah.
and that really bothers me. That's,
Yeah,
like,
and
one
it's
of my
like-
biggest red flags. Like, we went on one date,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and had a really good time.
Yeah.
But then it's like we have not talked since. And so it's like either try to communicate with me to show if, like, to help me figure out if this is worth it,
Yeah.
or literally pick a second date and follow through on it.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like by not doing so, he's showing you that it's not worth your time.
Exactly.
Yeah, like maybe he was meant to be a one night stand.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I had this recently with this girl who, like, I thought we were gonna be friends with benefits, like we were talking like that, but it was the same thing where she just, like, fully, like, ghosted me one night. We were supposed to hang out, like, had no respect for my time, and then reached out to me later, and maybe I'm crazy because I was like, I actually had a date cancel that day, so I was like, sure. And then we hooked up, and then once again, she just, like, disappeared, and then texted me, like, weeks later, and was like,
No.
hi, how are you? I was like,
Excuse
oh no,
me?
I'm sorry, it said hiya.
Just hiya.
That sounds like a baby gay problem.
Yeah, so I was just like, I didn't reply. I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you, and after we hooked up, she texted me and asked me if I wanted to go out. So I thought the reason she disappeared is I said no.
Yeah.
So I thought, like, oh, she wanted to, like, date, but, like, her profile said casual, so I was so confused by the whole thing. But then I'm like, why are you texting me hiya? I don't understand.
Hiya.
Hiya's crazy.
Okay, nerd.
It's just annoying. I'm like, I do think that for a friends with benefit situation, there needs to be a ton of communication.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because a real friends with benefits situation is going to be healthy because
Yeah.
it means you've clearly communicated that that's what you want.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas I feel like that's the other distinction. I feel like my fuck buddies and I never have as much communication. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're not really talking about anything.
Because again, friends respect each other. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
friends respect each other. If you
Yeah.
want to be my friends with benefit,
Mm-hmm.
you better respect me.
Yeah. I'm so down for it, but like,
Yeah.
don't just call it a friends with benefits if it's just
Yeah.
a fuck buddy.
You better give me the same respect that my friends would give me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Give me some time, just a little
Uh-huh.
bit. That's all I'm asking for, and energy.
Yep.
When you have friends with benefits, do you date other people at the same time?
Yes.
I feel like that's the point of having a friends with benefits. Is
Yeah,
that
well-
you are free to do whatever you please as long as you're respecting the other person.
Yeah. Well, I guess if your ideal is just to have a friends with benefit, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna hook up with somebody and then I don't need anybody else.
Yeah, I feel like that's often the slot that it fills. Like,
Yeah.
it's just fulfilling your needs, and that's just as much as you need. You don't need anything else.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I always find myself dating though. As discussed, I like first dates. So I feel like I'm always still on the apps and I'm always, like, still down to go out on a date.
Absolutely, yeah.
I've never had a friends with benefits situation, like, overlap with somebody who I, like, really liked.
Oh, yeah, no.
But I'm still going on dates for
Mhm.
sure.
Absolutely.
I don't really go on a ton of dates, but
You hook up.
I do hook up with other people at the same time. But normally I just, like, if I have one fuck buddy, like, consistently, or, like, friends with benefits or whatever, I just, like, I'm still on the apps and stuff,
Mhm.
but the one need I need fulfilled is being fulfilled.
Yeah, like, you don't, there's no reason.
So I'm like, I don't, like, unless you're doing it wrong.
Yes.
And then you gotta end it.
Yeah, then
Exactly.
there shouldn't be a second time.
Exactly. Like, the one time the guy, like, I didn't finish. He was really bad. The one in the dorm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I forgot what his fake name was.
I don't know if you gave him one.
Yeah, I just didn't go back. So I was like, okay, time to find a new one.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's a little different when I'm just on the apps to fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a lot of hookups that did not become anything more than a hookup because I was
Yes.
just like, I don't want to see you again.
Isn't that
Yeah.
fun? Yeah. No.
Have you or the other person ever caught feelings?
No. Speaking of the one experience that I have, no. Like, I was, like, initially, like, open to kind of anything. Like, I was cool with dating if he wanted to, but I was also cool with not dating. And so, no. He also gave me the ick, like, pretty early on. So, I was so down to just have sex with him. Like, after the first or second date, I was like, okay, I don't want to date you.
What did he do to give you the ick?
I don't even know. There was one. Okay.
Like, he just existed.
Well, partly that. But, like, okay, so I smoke kind of a lot of weed, and he does too. But, like, we hung out and we literally shared a blunt that he brought, and he got really high. And it was kind of embarrassing. I hate when they have a lower tolerance than I do. And it's like, I understand that I did this to myself, but, like, if you're gonna offer to smoke me up, then you can't make me feel like I'm babysitting you, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this is supposed to be mutually enjoyable, and you're just, like, looking at me with dry mouth and telling me that you're really high, you know? Like, and we're hiking, and then he kissed me with dry mouth, and it was the worst. It was the worst.
Yeah.
So that gave me the ick, and he also, like, because he was so high, he did this weird thing.
What did he do?
I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't even know what we were talking about, but he was trying to be funny about something, and just, like, he said it and made this, I don't know how else to describe it other than he made this face that, like, my brother makes sometimes.
No!
And he did this weird, like, convulsion with his body.
Oh no.
And I was like, absolutely not.
Not a brother comparison.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm good. I am good.
This is so not relevant to the episode, but it's relevant to your story about smoking. Because I meant to tell this story on the first date episode, so I can cut this or I can leave it. But
I think you should
don't-
leave it.
I don't smoke.
Yeah.
It makes me really anxious.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on a first date with this girl.
Yeah.
And we got really drunk, like really fucked up. And I hold my alcohol super well.
Yeah.
I have a really high tolerance. I don't puke.
Mhm.
Not a puker. I don't really even get hangovers.
Yeah.
And we got really, really drunk. And we went and got drinks. We were going to a concert.
I'm so
And
scared.
we got drinks before the concert.
I know it's gonna happen.
We got drinks before the concert. Then we went to the concert where we drank more. And then we went to a club after and drank more. And she had asked me if I smoked, and I was like, no. And then she invited me over, and I was like, sure. And I had somewhere to be at 8 a.m. the next morning. It's like 3 a.m. already. And we like go back to her place with her, and the last thing I remember is smoking. I puked in her room.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I blacked out at some point. I wake up. I have no idea where I am. I pull up Google Maps on my phone. I'm like, where am I? I'm in South Philly. I don't know. And it was so funny because when I woke up, I remembered way less than I now remember. Like, it was like coming back to me as the day went on. But like upon waking up, I was literally like,
No idea.
where am I? I'm in her t-shirt.
Oh my god.
I have no idea what's going on. And I accidentally wake her up, and there's a cat on me.
Oh my god.
And I wake her up, not on purpose, or maybe she was already awake, but like she wakes up next to me. And literally, the first thing I say to her is just, do you know where my phone is?
Yeah.
And anyway, she ghosted me. We did not go out.
Yeah.
Which I think is valid.
But see, like, I would say that's her fault. Like, girl.
You told her you didn't smoke.
I didn't smoke, but
And
it's
if
not
you were
like she
already
pressured
drunk,
me.
I would never allow that to happen. If you told me that you don't smoke because it makes you anxious, and then we got drunk, that is a recipe for disaster. And you know that now.
Don't remember.
Yeah.
Like, how did I get there?
Yeah.
I mean, she must have just offered again what I just was like, sure. And I think my only time smoking before then were not that negative of experiences. So I think I was just like, this is fine. And I think because I also hold my alcohol well, I was just probably like, maybe this will make it better. Maybe I can smoke if I'm also drinking. Terrible time to try that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't even smoke sometimes if I'm too drunk, because then I just get the spins.
Oh yeah. I've only smoked once since then.
Yeah.
And it was just Sarah. everybody knows Sarah. No?
Yes.
It was just at her apartment, like on her floor, like in like the
Yeah.
safest, nicest place I could be in, and I like literally was freaking the fuck out.
Oh no.
I was like, I have to go home.
Oh,
And
no.
leaving. I like totally convinced myself that she hated me and she was mad at me.
Oh.
And she was like talking to me about something and I couldn't pay attention to a word she was saying. But I was just staring at her and then I was like, oh my god, she hates you.
Oh no.
And then I was like, oh my god, now she's really gonna be mad at you because you're not paying attention to what she's saying. We'd ordered Taco Bell. I waited for Taco Bell to get there and I ate and I was like, I'm going home.
Yeah.
And they were like, you good? I was like, yeah, I feel great. I'm going home.
I feel great. I feel actually fantastic. I've never felt better.
And then I walked home, passed out, woke up the next, not like, which
I got scared for a second.
Sorry. Yeah, like in my bed. In bed.
Okay.
Woke up the next morning and texted them like, I'm so sorry. I don't know. And they like literally didn't realize that I was like freaking out.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh no, we thought you were fine. And I was like,
All
I was
internal.
losing my mind. Oh my god,
Like-
I sent Kaylin voice notes my whole walk home. I don't even remember what the fuck I was saying, but I did.
You were telling me that you were freaking out, and that you were like,
I
you were like,
confided in you at least.
yeah, you were like, you were like, I'm convinced Sarah hates me,
Oh my god.
and I was like, I don't even know what to say right now.
She didn't
so
say
terrible.
anything
Yeah.
that would like make me think that she hated
This
me.
was-
I just had convinced myself.
This was on 420, by the way.
Yes. This was on 420.
I do want to clarify. I don't dislike people who don't smoke normally. It's just men who act like they
No,
do
it gave you
and
the
don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, we don't have to smoke.
Yeah.
But don't offer if you're gonna be weird.
Valid.
If you're a man. If you're a girl, I don't give a shit how you act. You can do whatever you want.
Thank you. Sorry, I derailed us so far.
Yeah,
No,
sorry,
that's okay.
My bad.
Have you ever caught have you ever caught feelings, or has the other person?
I feel like this is a hard question for me. Okay, in two of the way I just forgot who one of them was. Okay, in two of them, I did not have any feelings at all. And then I feel like Claire, I actually really liked her after our first, like the first time we hung out.
Yeah.
Oh, wasn't that like a 24-hour date?
Yes, it was a really long, crazy
She-
first date.
Really liked her.
Yeah.
And I was so jealous. Like she was describing the date to me over voice notes, and I was like, when am I gonna have a 24-hour date?
The date was really great, and she
Yeah.
was really cool, and we hung out for a long time. So I like, again, she's one of the ones where I said, I'm like, I think that we would still be really good friends if nothing more happened, because I do think that we had a lot in common and we got along well. But it was like the second time we hung out, it was totally gone. Like it was just kind of like I think I tend to do. Not to quote a 1975 song, I do this a lot.
Let's hear it.
Don't fall in love with the moment and think you're in love with the girl. I do that a lot.
No.
I do that a lot, and I
Bars.
think that she was that.
Mm.
Where, like, I think that the
Yes.
date was so
Yeah.
magical, and I was drunk, and we spent
just
so
had a
much
great
time together,
time.
and the sex was really good. So I think that I was just like, oh my god, she's amazing. And
Yeah.
I think I kind of put her on a pedestal that, like, she can't actually reach because she's
Yeah.
just a person.
Yeah.
So it was like, the second time we hung out, I was just kind of like, disappointed, I guess, but like my crush was immediately gone. So I wouldn't say I caught feelings for her, but I started with them.
You started to, yeah.
And then I think Jen is the other like confusing one where I liked her when we dated, but then we like didn't talk for months, and then we became fuck buddies. So I'll talk about her more on the situationship episode. I feel like we established, but I think there was some time like after her and her girlfriend broke up that I was like, it was less that I liked her. There was no point that she could have said to me, like, do you want to date, that I ever would have said yes. But I think that I was at a point in my life where I really wanted a relationship. And I do think that when we did get along, when she was single, she was a serial dater, and she was a terrible person when she was in a relationship. And she was a good friend to me when she wasn't. And so it was like, that was the confusing part where it was like, oh, no, we're great. This is going well. And then she would, like, enter a relationship. And I'm like, oh, you suck. Huh. Yeah, so I think that there was, like, a little bit of time when she was single that I was like,
You thought.
I wanted her to change.
Yeah.
It's the only time I've ever had that kind of, like, maybe I can fix her
Yeah.
mentality, you know, of,
Yeah.
like, I see the good in you, and I would never date you as you are, but I wish that you would change.
What if you were a new person?
I want you
And then I
Can
get
you just,
you.
like, be fucking different?
Be fucking better.
Yeah, no, literally.
Yeah.
And then she got a boyfriend, and then she cheated on her boyfriend with me.
Slay.
And then I told her and then I remained her friend for like another month. And then I told her I couldn't be her friend anymore.
Okay.
So, anyways, the question was, did I catch feelings? I would say, once again, I started with them. I did not end with them.
You didn't catch them as a result of the
No.
fuck buddy or friends
No.
with benefits.
I have never been, like, hooking up with somebody and then been like, what if I like you?
Yeah.
But I have had a crush on somebody that it was kind of like, ooh, is this going to be an issue?
Yeah. It usually
Yeah.
starts off as like, I have a crush on you.
Yeah.
But I'll just have sex with you until I feel like saying something, kind of thing. For
Yeah.
me, at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
No, I
yeah.
agree with that.
But that never happens.
I
Yeah.
feel like with all of my fuck buddies, I'm always like, what if this is the one? Where it like develops into more. Every single one, I have that
No,
fantasy.
because that's such a fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
And they all open their mouth and disappoint me.
Yes, no, I think
Not-
that's exactly what it is.
Not open their mouth and disappoint me sexually. To clarify, they just start talking.
Yeah. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
But like the one I really thought had the most potential was Trey.
Yeah.
But he literally just assumed everything about me and couldn't communicate and was so confusing. And I was like, I can't even say that I said bye because he ghosted me after 2 months.
And that's crazy.
Yeah, you say all of them are obsessed with me, but not that one. That one couldn't have gotten away faster. I don't know what happened.
But didn't he like apologize later?
No.
Oh. What am I remembering?
No, so he and I were like dating for a month.
Right, and then
But then like he like started getting weird with his communication, and so I was like, is everything okay? And he was like, I don't think I can give you what you want. I'm like, I just have a lot going on right now, bye. And so like that was the end of that, and so we were no contact for a month.
Yeah.
And then the St. Patrick's Day parade was a week before St. Patrick's Day, and I texted him because I was drunk, and I was like, hey, and he was like, hi, I didn't expect to hear from you. And I was like, well, what if I want to be friends with benefits? Because he's like at the time, he was the best sex I ever had out of 2. Now he's probably like second or third or fourth. I don't know, somewhere lower on the list. But I was like, let's be friends with benefits. And he was like, oh. And so then we were probably by definition just fuck buddies because for like 2 weeks we only talked to be like, come over tonight, and like we didn't talk, and I was like, okay, this is perfect, this is what I want.
Yeah.
And then he started taking me out on dates again, and I was like, this isn't what I wanted. But I didn't initiate that, and so he did, and then it like unraveled in the same way where he was like, I can't give you what you want.
Do this.
And then he made me cry in a bar. And then he was like, we're going to talk about this when I get home this weekend.
Right,
I watched his cat.
Yeah.
I watched his cat. And then he came to pick up the key and was like, I have to go help my friend with something. And then we're going to have a conversation about what happened. And then he never answered my messages again.
For real, just used you for free cat sitting.
Literally for free cat sitting. And then
Psychopath.
ghosted.
He planned that whole month of hooking up and going on dates
my God.
just so that you would give him free cat sitting.
No, I don't
Monster.
think that's true.
I know, but in my head, that's what he
I
did.
also cat sat.
Cat
Did
sat.
cat sitting
Cat
for Jen, but she paid me. I'm doing that for free.
Well, then that's different.
I think I went like twice just to like
okay.
check on the food and the litter box.
Yeah.
And he didn't live that far from me. We were both like in the city at this point in Rochester, and so I was like, "What happened here? I feel like I've been bamboozled."
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
A real life bamboozling.
Oh, yeah.
For real. That's a perfect way to describe it.
But I feel like if it did keep going, I would have caught feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Especially if he kept taking me on dates and it
Being
like
all
became more of a
charming.
datey
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I like historically, whether it's dating or fuck buddies or like whatever it is, like I get the crush immediately or I don't. I keep doing this
Yeah.
thing where I like go on a date with somebody and they're so nice and amazing and there's nothing wrong with them, but I like don't have feelings, and so I'm like, let me go out with them again. Like maybe it'll change my mind, and it like doesn't. Like
Yeah.
I can't. I feel like if it's not there like immediately, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Which was maybe also the like bad territory with Jen, because it's like I did have it in the beginning, and I feel like that's pretty rare for me.
Yeah.
But I've never had it develop over time. I've always only liked people like right off the bat.
Yeah, I can't say that I've had to develop over time either. It's a lot of the times for me, I would like know that I had a crush after the first time we hung out, whether that was just a first date and no sex, or like having sex for the first time. But like this was all like most of my dating or any kind of romantic history is in the past. Like I had a good 2 years where I did not have any kind of romantic sex, anything, like a year and a half. So this was all when like before I was a fully developed human being also, so like I didn't handle anything well at all. But like I would have a crush after a date or something and then just never do anything about it. So like it probably could have been even just like a situationship, but it never was able to get to that point because I didn't communicate anything.
Valid.
Yeah.
How long ago was Irishman?
Irishman was the most recent.
Okay.
So like right around when I met you, so around October.
Okay.
Ish.
Yeah. And how did you guys like meet and start hanging out?
We met on Hinge.
Okay.
And he took me out on a date. So like I was feeling good at first because we were going on a hiking date, which is like my favorite thing.
And that was your first date?
Yeah.
That's so scary.
I know. In hindsight, a little bit stupid.
Cute.
But we did meet.
Then I remember you talked to men, and I guess there's
Yeah.
a difference.
Yeah.
I would never do that.
I know, but we met at a coffee shop first.
Okay.
And like sat inside and talked for a while, and then we went to go hike.
Okay,
So that was better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the hiking spot that we went to is literally in the middle, like in between two neighborhoods.
I mean,
Like-
and she lived to tell the tale.
Yeah, and we were chilling. We were just chilling, you know?
It scares me.
I'm like, I like get into like strange women's cars before we even meet, so I can't
He drove
speak.
me to the hike from the coffee date. So I probably shouldn't have done that, but he offered, and I was like, I don't think you're gonna kill me. We'll try it. We'll see. But we didn't have sex the first time we met. We just like kissed. And then the second time we hung out, we also didn't have sex. So like because that was my like reintroduction to the scene, it made me feel good because I felt a lot safer because I was glad that he didn't immediately try and go for that.
Yeah.
So that was good. We just like hung out and like made out and stuff, and then we probably would have gone to his apartment, but like his roommate was studying or something, so we didn't. So then the third time we hung out was when we had sex and established the friends with benefits thing.
Okay.
And then we hung out like maybe 3 more times after that.
That's kind of how like mine started with
Yeah.
Trey. Was like we went on a first date. I was like, where did we go? I remember. We went on the first date. We like kissed, and then at the end of the date, we had only been talking on Snapchat. So then at the end of the date, he asked for my number and then texted me to like make sure I got home safe and was like, can I see you again? And like all this nice cute stuff. And so I was like, okay. And then this was my first date since ending my engagement. So this was this is my reintroduction into the dating scene.
Yeah.
And then the second time I saw him, he picked me up from work and we went and got drinks. And then he took me back to work and we were like making out in his car. And I was like, I was so scared. I was like, is he going to try to have sex with me in the car?
In the parking lot of
like,
my work.
Yeah, in the car, in the parking lot where I work. And so I literally told him, I was like, I'm not having sex with you here. And he was like, I wasn't going to try. And I was like, okay, good.
Just wanted to put that out
Good.
there.
Yes. So, this was also the guy that I broke the table with. Yeah. So he could be really charming and really sweet, or he could be really frisky.
Really frisky.
Frisky.
I don't know where to put there.
Kinky, freaky.
I like freaky more than
Freaky?
frisky.
Yeah,
I don't
freaky
know.
I feel like encapsulates.
I technically broke the table by myself.
So you're the freak.
You broke it by yourself?
Yeah, because it was next to his
Were-
bed.
You got out of bed and broke his table.
For like foreplay?
No.
You want to see something really cool?
I love when people break stuff.
Yeah, I like got up out of bed and then I like jumped up and elbowed it.
You could have done that for the one who said you had long fingers. He would have into that.
Something really cool.
Yeah. You think I got a nice powerlifting frame? Watch this. I should have
Watch me
devastated him.
pick up this table and throw it down.
Throw it at him. No.
I'm just picturing you like hulking out. I can't.
Oh my god.
It was just, the table was just next to his bed and we were busy and then I like moved and fell off the bed onto the table and then it broke.
I didn't know this.
Uh-huh.
Me either. I think I just assumed you were like fucking on the table.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
like
like
I
the
assumed when
pressure
you
of
said
it.
No.
You fell onto it.
Uh-huh. His hand
I
was
would
like
die. I would literally die.
in me still. As I'm like on the table.
Okay, so
in
it's
you.
partly his fault because he's basically puppeting you. Like, the way it's-
Puppeting. Oh my god.
I'm so sorry for that.
No, that was amazing. That's what we're all about here. Whoreology. Some good old puppeting sex.
That reminds me though, I fell off the bed with Irishman.
Oh.
Oh, really?
But like he just watched it happen. Like he was behind me. I was
Trying to help?
and I think I was like
He was trying to catch you?
like he could see the whole situation and I could not. So I was moving and I didn't know that I was so close to the edge of the bed. So I fell off. And there's something, at least for me, so
It's embarrassing.
humbling to fall off naked and run into a side table. Like
No,
and you're just laying on the
literally.
floor with him towering above you. And
Literally.
he doesn't say anything. He's like, "Are you good? Like, are you gonna try
Do
to
I
help
look
me?
good?
Like, hello? Are you gonna try and
No,
stop
that's
it?
how I felt.
Yeah, I feel so exposed and vulnerable.
Yeah, I was on my back, a table broken beneath me, and I'm like, this is embarrassing, this is
Yeah.
humbling. I'm like, please don't perceive me right now.
Don't look at me. Shield your eyes, please.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
He had to get me a towel because there was beer on the table, and it spilled.
No, I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
And this was like our second time hooking up.
Did you guys finish?
Yeah.
Did you? When you fell?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
I just, you should get back on that horse.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Did you ever fall off the bed while having sex?
No. No,
because
I
you're with women and they fucking care about
yeah,
you.
they don't let you fall off the bed, I
No.
guess.
Yeah, I've never let my partner fall off the bed.
Never. Never. Also,
Ours are
they're
just
not moving
throwing
around
us.
as much, though.
And not in a fun way.
Wait, what did you say?
I said ours are just throwing us and not in a
They're
fun way.
They're pushing you.
Yeah, they're
I feel like
Oh no, what happened?
Oh my god.
What you did.
Yeah, I think 3 of the 4 I've been talking about were really like straightforward. Like we matched on a dating app. It kind of was established like from the beginning that we were both looking for casual, and it was never an issue. Jen, I think, is a funnier story because we went out for a little bit, like I said, didn't talk for months, and then we actually ran into each other like out in public a couple of times. And then she messaged me, she DM'd me and asked me to hang out, and I was kind of like, is this is this a booty call? Does she want to hang out? Like, I didn't really know what the vibe was. So I went over to her place, she lived close to me, and we just hung out. Like, it was completely platonic, friends. So then she asked me to hang out, like, a week later, and I was like, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, we went out to the club, just as friends. We haven't, like, nothing had happened since we started talking again. And we decided that we were both gonna meet women. There was this girl I was, like, watching most of the night, and she was there with a friend.
There was this girl I was
watching her.
Staring, I was stalking,
I was
you know.
staring at her.
Sorry, the way you said it. I was like, whoa.
This girl that I was watching, I usually try to find one at least every night.
We're at a gay bar, and she was there with her friend, and they were both hot. And so I, like, went up to her, and I started talking to her, and I started making out with her. And Jen, we actually had a third friend with us, so Jen was, like, with the other friend. The other friend had a partner, and Jen was also single, and Jen also liked her friend. So after making out with her, I was like, is your friend single? Which is a crazy thing to ask, but yeah. She was like, I was like, my friend thinks your friend is hot, and she was like, yes. So we set them up. So it was like, I'm making out with one friend, she's making out with the other friend.
Classic.
Yes. And then, well, at one point, we go to the bathroom, and we come back, and we switch friends. So I made out with the girl she was making out with, and she made out with the girl I was making out with.
That's so boy of you, and I love it. I'm so here for it.
Actually, we didn't go to the bathroom, we went to the bar. We went to get drinks, and we switched. Because then we went to the bathroom, and me and Jen went to the bathroom together, and I'm just, like, hanging out with my new bestie, who I pick up women with, and she, like, pushed me against the bathroom wall, and we started making out, and then we left. we went home together. And that's what started the Friends with Benefits.
Oh my god.
And in the fall, and then she got a girlfriend, we were still friends, and she called me the day she broke up with her girlfriend. Like, I got a phone call, and I was like, why is she calling me? And so I answered, she was like, hey, me and my girlfriend broke up. And I was like, oh, sorry to hear that. Like, when? I was thinking, like, last night, like, over the weekend. She's like, just now, like, I just got off the phone with her. I
immediately calls you.
I should have told her I couldn't be her friend that moment. That should have been the very moment that I should have been like, oh,
did that even
you're
cross
crazy.
my...
No, I mean, I didn't have a crush on her at this point at all. But it was, I was like, well, this sounds like fun. This sounds like a fun. So but again, we hung out twice, and, like, nothing happened at all. So I was just like, okay, this time we're gonna be friends. It was, like, multiple hangouts. She was, like, telling me about her breakup. We went and got dinner together. Like, it wasn't even flirty. Like, it was, like, totally fine. And then we went out together. And same thing where, like, she, like, met a girl out. I was, like, going through it, like, through, like, another situationship I had. Yeah. And then I was not interested in anybody when we went out that night, and I ended up kissing this girl who was not my type, and the worst kisser I've ever kissed. I was in such a bad mood. I was in a terrible mood, and I was just kind of a bitch to Jen for no reason. I mean, there's multiple times where she deserved me being a bitch. This was not what it was. She did nothing wrong. She just went through a breakup, and I'm being a bitch. And so I went home. She, like, went home with a stranger. I, like, actually should have done a better job and been like, are you good? But I didn't. So I went to her house the day after that, literally to apologize. Like, I went over to be like, I'm sorry, I was such a mess last night. I'm, like, really not okay, I think. This was in the winter. I'm a problem in the winter. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
So I literally went to her house to apologize. And we hooked up. And I was like, now how do I keep finding myself in these situations?
Sometimes it just happens.
Sometimes it just happens. I was like, fuck, I thought we were really going to be friends.
Well, you know what? Sometimes it's just meant to be. Sometimes you're just meant to fuck people.
I guess.
That's it.
Yeah. And then, you know, not be friends anymore.
Fucking bad people is fun sometimes.
It's really fun.
Something we were talking about earlier reminded me of it, but there was this guy that I hooked up with a couple of times in college. We'll call him Knife Guy.
Oh,
do you want to hear the spicy story?
No,
I would love to hear
you need to tell her why you're calling him Knife Guy.
I think it was the first time we hooked up. We got, like, drunk. It was in college, so we were having, like, a darty. And we got drunk and we're hooking up.
What's a darty?
A day party.
I was so glad you asked that because I was drinking. But I was going to ask the same question.
Really?
I was like, a drug party?
were called farm parties. So,
The drunk parties.
yeah.
Oh, just a gay party during the day.
Okay.
That's all. So you're at party. Yep. Anyways, we like go to my room and start hooking up. And then for some reason, we were like fooling around in my room, and then we had to go downstairs because this was my college apartment, and we had a bowl of condoms in the living room.
Huge.
So we went down to go fetch those. So for some reason, we ended up in the kitchen, and we were just fucking around. Like, we were really drunk.
Fucking around, like goofing
Just
off, or
goofing
like,
off,
fucking?
like just goofing off.
Okay.
I don't even know what we were doing, but at one point we're like near the counter, and there was a knife on the counter, and he like, I had my back to him, and he grabbed me and grabbed the knife and put it to my throat.
I don't have any words. Were you into this?
So yes and no.
Like, I'm not here to kink shame, but I would freak out.
So I think it's only because I was so drunk at the time. I just like my inhibitions were very lowered. So like I was definitely concerned, but it was way easier for me to just laugh it off. And like it was like he wasn't being, I mean it is really fucked up that he did that. Like that's insane. But he wasn't scaring me at the
you should
time.
maybe have like consent.
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
Can I hold this knife to your throat?
Yeah, like if you had told him like, hey, I'm really into knife play.
Yeah.
But like
It was
Knife play.
knife
context, he's like a military guy.
That makes it worse.
Yes, it does. But I don't know, I think it was just because we were like moving around and like laughing a lot, and he's laughing while he did that. So I think that made it less scary for me. But like it was definitely like, oh, is he actually doing that? But I was just laughing, and it was only for like 10 seconds. So he just stopped, and then we went upstairs and had sex.
I won't name drop her, but we have a friend who's really into blood, and I would love her to
She's into blood. She likes it when guys get nosebleeds.
Oh my.
Like, does she like break their
No
nose?
shaming. No, it just, so she just happened, okay,
We
I don't
really
wanna
derailed from the
expose
topic.
I don't even know what to title this episode because it's about.
so much.
It's just us shooting
We need to
shit.
do like a lot of trigger warnings. Trigger warning blood, trigger warning knife. So anyways, I maybe we hooked up another time, I don't know. But our friend groups collided a lot. So I was at his house for like a party, another darty.
Not drug party.
Another day party, in case you guys don't know. And my friends, so like, this was kind of, they didn't really do it on purpose, but it was kind of shitty. They like were trying to hype me up, and they wanted me to stay over with him. So they literally like left me there.
Oh.
Like they booked an Uber and
Wait,
forced
was this-
me to stay in his house
was
and
this
go in his room.
Before or after the knife?
This was after the knife.
Are you still friends with these people?
Yes.
Ah! You should
One
send
of
this to them.
Just one
Okay.
of them. But yeah, so they made me stay with him because they thought it would be like funny, and they were trying to hype me up. I don't know, but like they made me go and wait for him in his room, and then they left.
That's horrifying.
But he was like not happy that I was there.
What the
He
fuck?
was being so weird, and that's the thing. It's like we were basically like we hadn't established anything, but we were friends. We saw each other. We had met, I think, before we hooked up. We had a lot of the same friends. Like, it was super chill. I literally was just like a little bit drunk and staying over, and like I explained that to him too, that my friends like made me, basically. But he was just as soon as he saw me, because granted he did like walk into his room and I was just there, but not out of my own doing. But he was just being so weird to me and like not wanting to talk to me. And then we got in the bed, and then we ended up just falling asleep because I stayed over like without explicitly asking him, even though I wasn't even trying to do anything, and he knew that my friends like left me there. He ignored me, like,
While you were there?
clearly bothered. Yes. And then the next morning he woke up, I was awake, he went to the bathroom and then left the room without saying a fucking word to me, and he acted like I wasn't there. He was just outside talking to all of his friends and his roommates. And I literally was like, because I felt so uncomfortable at that point because he had been being weird the whole time.
Ooh.
so uncomfortable, and I had like no service because he lived in the middle of nowhere, so I had to call my friend who left me there, and she didn't have a car, so I had to make her book me an Uber out of his house, and I just left. Like, I walked right past them and left and slammed the door, and he didn't say a word to me.
Is that the last time you saw him?
No, I saw him again. Well, I saw him a couple of times, but we didn't talk. The next time I saw him, actually, it was kind of a good moment because I looked really good that night, and I heard his friend, who was also my friend, go to him and be like, see, doesn't Hailey look so good tonight? Like, I bet you're fucking mad.
Slay.
And I was like, you are such a G for that. But he was literally in a relationship with this other girl, and he was like, yeah, I know.
Oh! I wasn't expecting him to say that.
And then, later that night, we were still with that group, and I'm talking to him and his girlfriend, and he, with his girlfriend, starts apologizing to me for how he treated me, and then bought us all shots. I was like, this is... And she invited me to come stay with her in Chicago. It's like, it was so weird.
Damn.
But honestly, slay.
That's crazy.
Anyways, I was just trying to make that a point about how weird they are when there's, like, even an instance that they think you're interested in them.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Because all I want is, like, just casual, consistent sex, which I think I've mentioned at least 3 times already. Because it's not... I don't know how to say this and not sound conceited.
Oh, girl, sound conceited.
It's not like I haven't had my opportunities to have casual, consistent sex.
It's not conceited.
No.
That's just the truth.
Okay. But it's like, they just don't act right.
They don't get that.
Yeah.
No.
So I just don't follow through on it.
Yeah.
It's like they don't understand that you're not desperately searching for a boyfriend.
Exactly. So I've been off the apps.
Oh yeah, I can't stand. I think when I move here, I'll get back on the apps just like to meet people,
Yeah.
but I can't. It's
Those-
so upsetting.
They're upsetting.
I just want somebody to approach me in a fucking bookstore or a grocery store. You know?
Yeah.
Why is it so hard?
To date or to fuck?
Any of it. I'm open to any of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just approach
talk
me.
to me. I am deprived.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, I feel like, unfortunately, my worst experiences are my in-person ones.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is lately, like, no, not even lately, just of all time, like, not my worst, my, like, absolute worst, when I think of, like, the worst dates I've been on,
Yeah.
I met them both on dating apps, but the next couple falling down there and my worst hookup all came from meeting in person.
Yeah.
I have way better luck on the apps. I think it's, like, the fact that I can, like, vet you first.
Yeah, you can fine tune it.
Yeah.
Because for me, the people I meet in person are bad because there's alcohol involved.
Oh, yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's always
And
alcohol involved for me.
Yeah, and it's just completely different person.
I don't know, it sucks. It feels like it's the only way to meet people. I think especially, like, as a lesbian. Because it's
Yeah.
like, I would never feel comfortable approaching a woman
It's really hard.
unless I was in, like, a gay bar.
Yeah.
And now I'm in a gay bar, and I just don't think I'm going to meet the love of my life. Or maybe even a good, consistent hookup in a gay bar. Because
Yeah.
it always goes bad for me. But I can't just, like, approach in a coffee shop, you know, and I don't think anyone would approach me. I'm like, I need to tattoo the lesbian flag on my forehead. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah, literally.
Women don't approach me.
Exactly, that's
Yeah.
my point. It's like, I feel like it's just like, I don't know. It's more like, taboo is the right word. But
Yeah,
like,
well, I think. Sorry, go ahead.
no, it's just like, I feel like most people like the opposite gender, whether you're bi or you're straight. And so I feel like it's way more normal. I also think that there is like a kind of a stigma of like the man like approaches first. And so I feel like being a gay woman is first of all like people don't want to make people uncomfortable. So it's like even if a girl is into me or I'm into a girl, it's like, well, I don't know if she's gay. Even
Not
if she
sure.
looks gay as fuck, I don't know and I don't want to approach her. But then it's also just like I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it doesn't happen unless you're at like a gay bar, and we don't even
Yeah.
have a lesbian bar here.
Yeah.
We will soon.
We will soon.
Yay.
I
So
can't
it's like-
believe Philly doesn't have a lesbian bar
Right.
yet. That's
we literally have the
crazy.
gayborhood, and
Uh-huh.
if they're like,
That's
no.
criminal.
And
That's actually so offensive.
the lesbian
Right?
bar isn't even going in the neighborhood.
No.
Are you fucking
They're
kidding?
putting it like so far
Okay,
away.
that's a problem. Like, that actually really bothers me.
Me too. Me too. And so we have like a lot of like sapphic nights and sapphic
Yeah.
events, and I like love to go to those, but it's like, okay, so a couple times a year when I show up at these events is like the only time that I feel comfortable
Yeah.
approaching a woman in public, and that is where I meet all the ones that end poorly.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, well, I need to find a new way to do that, and it's like, no, it's that or the apps. I've got nothing else.
I love to approach first, but it's way easier for me to approach a man first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're flattered by it. They like
Yeah.
it. They like the directness. So.
I don't know how to approach people, period. Like, I don't know how to make it known that I'm interested in somebody, and I don't know how to fix that about myself.
Yeah, I'm really bad at it too. I have to be drunk, and it has to be a sapphic event.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only way that I will do it.
I don't know what it is. Like, I used to be so much better at that. Like, in college, I would just get drunk and pick up guys and bring them back like little lost puppies. Like, I did it all the time. It was like, this is my guy of the night. And then it just stopped. And now I don't know how to do it.
You can do it.
We'll get there.
I also used to be better in general because I used to go out alone, which I wouldn't recommend. Don't go out alone. But also, I just feel like you kind of have to. It's like if you go out by yourself, you have to go talk to somebody.
Yeah.
You at least have to make friends.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a comfort level with my friends that I'm just like, I'm having fun and I'm hanging out with my friends and I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Because I have you guys, and it makes me so much less likely. Whereas like before I had good friends in the city, it was like I would go out alone and then I like was forced to do something. Like I told the story about like hooking up with a girl in the bathroom. It's like I went out alone.
Mm-hmm.
I had to make friends. I had to talk to people. And then like she started hitting on me, but I approached her because I was alone.
So real.
Like, well, that's how I always approach people. Was I went out alone.
Yes.
See,
I think
I've never done that.
I think it's good for you to go out alone.
I think I need
Yeah.
to. I need to. Do
But
that.
you have to do it safely. Like you have to tell
Yes.
someone. You have to like share your location.
Give your location to
Bring
your friends.
Some form of
Bring
defense.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
And then-
recommend it just in terms of like a life experience.
Yeah.
Don't get plastered.
Yes.
Like be aware of your surroundings.
Have a
I
couple
think-
drinks tops.
and-
Know your limit.
I think it's
Pre-game
good.
if you want to, so you
yeah.
don't have to like
Spend money.
worry about the drinks that you're holding as much
Yeah.
when you don't have anybody to watch them,
Yeah.
and spending money, of course, and
Yeah.
not having to depend on other people to buy your drinks.
Yeah. Tell your friends where you are. Maybe don't. I mean, I would say as somebody giving advice to somebody else, don't go home with anybody. But
I feel like that's why I bring them back to my
I
place.
always bring them to my place.
Is so they
Absolutely.
don't have control over the,
That's why
the
I'm so excited to
situation.
have my own apartment.
Yes. Okay, but see, then it's like, but I am bringing a girl home, so I'm giving the advice of don't go home with somebody.
Don't go to their. Oh.
Yeah, but
I
she's.
see. But maybe she's
That's
not out
different.
alone. Maybe she has friends who are with her.
Oh, you're right.
You know, because yeah,
Actually, yeah, I think every time.
most of the because it's more
Yeah.
common for people to be with other people.
Yeah. And then your friends like know where you're going, know what's going on. I think that's
And have met you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's everything. We kind of delved into so many different topics.
That was a book.
That was a
Yeah.
book.
It's at least 2 hours
Yes.
worth of audio for you to cut through.
Good episode though.
Yeah.
I feel good about it.
Yeah, we talked about so many different things, and we're gonna have Hailey back because she's gonna move here.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
she'll be back. I think we're gonna do an actual one night stand episode because we accidentally went into that multiple times
Yep.
tonight.
I have
Yep.
so many more concerning stories for you guys.
Yay!
Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you.
They're awesome.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.